Happy Thursday. So we are a couple days out from this weekend's race, Vert Till Ya Hurt. So it is the first race of the Pace Trail Series Quadzilla series. So they are hosting 4 different events throughout the year, all within the Okanagan region. And this first one this weekend is in West Kelowna. So it's a really interesting format that I'm pretty excited about. So it's basically a peak bagging event, and it's kind of part virtual, part in person. So the first part of the race is a 16-kilometer standard trail race at the Smith Creek Trail system. So we'll do the event. There'll be 8 stations, timing, all that kind of stuff. Volunteers on course, just like a standard race. And once that portion is over, you then have the rest of the day to complete 2 other summits within West Kelowna. So the first summit you have to do is Goats Peak, and it is approximately 12 kilometers, and it's 2 ascents of Goats Peak, essentially unassisted. You just have to check in with the timing crew at the bottom, and then you do your own thing, you get the 2 ascents, and then once you've done that, then you drive over to the 3rd and final peak, which is Mount Boucherie, and that one's about 8 kilometers, I believe. I might have them backwards. I think Goats Peak might be 8K and Mount Boucherie is 12K. And then you do 2 ascents of Mount Boucherie. And then once you finish that, you are finished the race. So it's a pretty unique format. It's pretty cool because we'll be able to get a ton of elevation in an area where there isn't super high mountains or anything like that. But by doing essentially 5 ascents within West Kelowna, we'll be able to get some pretty decent vertical, which will be really cool. I'm also really looking forward to the strategy portion of the event. So you have to figure out how do you time the space in between each portion of the race. So it doesn't matter how long it takes between segments. Within reason, there is a cutoff for each, but it's well within your capabilities. And there'll be like a fair amount of time in between each. I imagine there could be 1 to 2, maybe 3 hours between, because we'll be carpooling, so I'll be waiting for other people. So by the time I finish one segment and start the next one, there will likely be a couple hours in between, including, logistics and driving and hanging out with the baby and all that good stuff. So I'm very interested to see how it goes. I think it could be physically challenging on the quads because your legs will have to wake up again after sitting around for a decent amount of time. And with that much vertical, your legs are going to get pretty blown up, and then they'll start to relax, and then lactic acid will start to build, and then you'll have to get going again. So it's going to be kind of interesting. And I'm looking forward to it. So here we're going to do some gear, some fueling, a little bit of race strategy, and that'll be it for this video. So let's move on to gear. So we have 16K, 8K, and 12K, something like that. So in total, it should be 37 kilometers with about 1,500 meters of elevation. So the first section is 16K, so I'm estimating about 2 hours. So it's really not that long of a section by itself. So gear is pretty minimal. There's no required gear, it's just whatever you want to bring. The expected temperature is 2 degrees in the morning. I'm fully in summer mode, but the weather is not on the same page as me. So it's gonna be pretty chilly at the start. There might even be frost on the ground. It's currently snowing at my house, so really having to make sure I don't fully shift into summer mode yet. So I'm gonna do running shorts with tights over top because the cold legs, high risk of injury. So trying to keep those legs nice and warm, especially for such a long day. So we'll be doing tights, Swiftwick socks, and then sports bra. I'll be wearing my Born Primitive nursing bra, which is sweet because then I'll be able to see Zoe in between segments, and feed her. And then I'll do a thin long sleeve. So I'm just gonna do this thin long sleeve. It's really nice, lightweight, breathable, so that later in the day when it warms up, I can easily strip down. But I think that the air is gonna be kind of cold, so then I can still have protection on my arms and whatnot. And then I can always take it off if I need to. And I'm gonna start with this jacket. So this is like a nice windproof cycling jacket, and it actually zips off into a vest right here. It zips off super easy, so I can even do it while I have my running pack on. And then as it warms up on the first portion of the race, I can always just take off the sleeves, and then I have a nice running vest on. Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna wear on the body. As for extra gear, I'm gonna bring gloves because it's gonna be cold. I'll have a hat for later in the day if it gets really sunny. I may not use it, same with sunglasses. No buff, it's not gonna be that cold, but gloves are probably gonna be nice to have. And then my running pack. So this is the same one I wore. This is the same one I've been wearing for the last couple of years. This is my AONEG running pack, so it's nice, breathable, lightweight. It's not a crazy large carrying capacity, but it's definitely more than enough for this length of race. So it's got the hydration pouches in the front, and then you can put gels and stuff, and then it's got little pockets on the side, and then it's got a big pocket in the back. So because the segments aren't that long each, I'm not really gonna carry a crazy amount. So I'm gonna carry 2 of these flasks. These are about 600 mils, so I'll carry 1 in each pocket. And then I'll carry gels, and since I'll be wearing my windproof jacket, I'm not gonna put a jacket in the back. And that'll be pretty much it. I'm gonna go pretty minimal. And then for shoes, I'm gonna wear my Solomon Speed Cross, and I'm gonna bring my Ultra Lone Peaks as well, just in case I feel like changing up my shoes. But the Speed Cross have quite a bit of cush, which is nice. And then my feet won't get too sore. Yeah, they're not my fastest shoe, but because it's gonna be a pretty long day, I wanna have some nice comfort. And I know Speed Cross are my bread and butter. I know they're comfortable, and I know that they'll be good for a long event, so that's what I'm gonna wear. Okay, on to fueling. I think fueling is gonna be key for this kind of event, especially because you might feel really good after the first 2 hours, but then as the day progresses, people are gonna get lazy. It'll be really easy not to keep up on your calories and to get just kind of lax in between events. So I think that's gonna be huge for this style of event. So like I was saying earlier, I'm gonna carry 2 of these in my hydration pack. So in here, I'll have water, plus I will have a scoop of Scratch, and I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons of maple syrup in each flask. So that'll give me about 200 calories in each, and I'll do 1 of these per hour, ideally. And then I will do food gels. I'll do 1 before the race, 1 at the hour mark, and maybe 45 minutes. See how I'm feeling. Depends how hard I go. I'm not really sure exactly how hard I'm gonna go out, but if I am like redlining pretty early on, then I'm gonna take a gel earlier, probably 45 minutes. And if I'm just kind of putzing around, then I'll wait till an hour. Yeah, we're trying to keep those calories up, so that'll give me about 300 calories per hour, plus the gel I take at the beginning, so that's pretty decent. And then I'm expected to come back in around 2 hours, so then I'll fuel up again after the 2 hours. Yeah, this whole format is so interesting because you can go pretty, not light, but you don't have to go super crazy hard on the calories while you're running because you're gonna come back to your aid car and then you can really fuel up. And then you can wait a couple hours, digest. So the big thing is gonna be as soon as I get back to the truck to eat. Even if I'm tired, because I know after I race, I'm tired, I don't wanna eat, but I'm gonna force myself. Which is why I have a lot of squeezable, really easy to consume calories. So Scratch, goo, maple syrup during my run. In between, I've got some options because you never know how you're gonna feel after you run. So I've got some savory and sweet options. So I've got some Go-Go Squeeze. These are just little fruit snacks. These are delicious, super easy to get down. They're not super high cal. They're probably like, I don't know, 60 to 80 calories. They're just yummy. And then I've got this sweet potato butternut squash by Knack. It's 200 calories. I've got a Knack waffle. That's 140. And then I'm also going to bring some, so I've got this Feed Zone cookbook. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it is by he's one of the chefs for the Tour de France cycling teams, and he has all these portable snacks that you can make for you while you go out on long rides is what they're designed for, but I like to use them for long runs, sometimes riding. So anyways, I've made a sweet rice cake, so it's rice and chocolate maple syrup type thing. So I'm gonna bring some of those, and then I'm also gonna cook up some mini potatoes. So they'll just be like baked potatoes with salt and pepper and butter or oil or something. Super simple, easy to get down, high density calories. So I'll have some options, see how I feel, and I'm pretty sure between the second and third segment, I'm gonna stop and get a burger at, I don't know, Wendy's or whatever is convenient. Yeah, smash down some food, get some protein, and if I can, my body can handle it, then that'll be sweet. Take in some French fries. Yeah. And then the other thing I'm gonna try, so I'm a big fan of trying new things on race day. It's just kind of how I've always rolled in the past. I've worn brand new shoes on race day. Yeah, I'll often buy stuff at the race expo and then wear it the next day for the race. Maybe not for a super ultra endurance event, but like, I don't know, a couple hours. It's really not that big of a deal, I don't think. It's the best way to test if your gear is gonna work. It's probably not recommended, but you know, you gotta learn one way, so it's fun. So I got this Precision Hydration Gel. So this is a 90-gram gel. So it has nearly 400 calories. So that's 360 calories. It's super minimal in terms of ingredients, which is awesome. It doesn't even have a flavor. It's basically just sugar and water, which is sweet. So I might be taking this in between portions. I don't think I'll take this on while I'm running because the running sections aren't long enough, but in between, if I'm not feeling, you know, other food, this is gonna be an awesome way to get in some calories. So anyways, looking forward to trying something new on race day. And then one other option I have is some cola, just some Coke, which I can always do in between or during. Yeah, just kind of leaving it pretty loose and open. I know that I need to get electrolytes in, but it's also not going to be that hot, so I'm not going to be crazy about electrolytes, but I'm going to drink it continuously throughout the day. So while I'm running, I'll be doing scratch, and then I'll have a bottle to sip on in between running segments, just to keep the electrolytes up. So I will be working hard, but I won't be sweating that much. It won't be that hot. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing for fueling. That probably really wasn't very clear, but I really don't know what exactly I'm gonna do. It's kind of a mismatch. I just know I need to keep cows up, refuel after every run segment, and keep drinking electrolytes all day. That's gonna be big. Yeah, rest when you can, eat when you can. Yeah, very cool format. Okay, so then the other thing I was gonna touch on is my race strategy. So I wanna go out pretty hot. I'm feeling pretty good about this event. I feel like I'm actually in pretty good shape. I've been doing a pretty good amount of hill climbing, which I'm really happy with since, yeah, for the last 3 months, I've been really focusing on hill climbing, so doing longer tempo running intervals, as well as getting in at least 1 or 2 hikes with elevation this week, or during the week. So my climbing legs, I think, are pretty strong. I think it's gonna be more if my heart rate can keep up to what my legs wanna do. I'm not really used to the burn. I haven't been doing things that really like get you that blood in your throat feeling too much. I've done a little bit of it, but it's definitely something that takes some getting used to, and you kind of have to get your body ready to experience that kind of hurt. So we'll see. Yeah, I want to go out pretty hard and then just try and keep up 2 of the front packs, probably gonna be the goal. But I do know that there are 3 segments, so you also want to save a little bit in the tank. But if you go out too slow on the first section, you won't be able to catch up. So there's definitely gonna be some strategy. But yeah, I'm gonna try and go at the front pack and just see if I can hang on. Yeah, I don't really think there's too much strategy. Obviously bomb the downhills, try and run all the uphills using that granny gear. I think Smith Creek is going to be quite runnable. It's pretty mellow grade on the way up. It's a mountain bike up track, so it's designed to have lots of switchbacks, be pretty chill really on the incline. And then I think the second and third peaks are going to be a lot steeper and a bit looser, so they'll be a bit harder to get traction on while you're running. So I think trying to run as much as you can in the first section will be key, and then just trying to keep going strong for the next two segments. Yeah, probably do a little bit of warm up in between each, like right before I start the climb, just to get the heart rate up. So maybe just do a couple accels right before I start my timer. Do some banded glute work just to get the glutes activated and engaged. And then just have fun. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty sweet. I really haven't raced much in the last few years, really since COVID. I've done maybe 2 races since COVID, 2 running style races since COVID. I did Spartan Kelowna, and then I did the Wild Horse Traverse a couple years ago. But it's been pretty, not a lot really, because there was COVID, everything was canceled. And then with working wildfire, it pretty much takes the entire race season. So there's just no time, and no time to train, no time to race. It's just kind of all consuming. And then being pregnant, I did an adventure race, but it was more of an activity rather than a race. So I'm actually really looking forward to doing this race because I feel like I've had a pretty good training block, been very consistent. I feel like my body is well, it just feels good. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm gonna try and take some video on race day so you can follow along on the race and see what this cool event is all about. And then I'll do a post-race highlight video next week, probably on Monday or Tuesday, just recapping how the event goes and how this mishmash of fueling strategy works out. I'll try and keep track of how many calories I eat and estimate how many I burn. That'll be really hard to do, but yeah, I'll try and keep track of what I eat, and I'll report back on how everything goes. Yeah, but anyways, should be fun, and I'll catch you guys next week. See ya.